What up, y'all? It's Showtime, Mr. Talk of the Town. We out here at hiphopnc.com, K975. You already know what it is. I got the man with me, man.
What's going on? What's
man that the streets is talking about.
Yeah.
Definitely buzzing all over the country. Tee Grizzley, what up, though?
What's up, though? I appreciate y'all for having me.
Good to see you, brother.
What's up, bitch?
So let's kind of start off, man. I want to kind of explore you and your story. So let's kind of go from the beginning. Like, talk to me about the Tee Grizzley story, like how it began prior to music and, you know, back in the day.
Prior to music, I was average young black kid running around my city. No guidance, only exposed to so much, nothing to look forward to. You feel me? But at my high school, I had teachers and principals and counselors that took a liking to me. So they really pushed me towards the college route, you feel me? And once I got to college, I was still in the same position. I was still accustomed to so much stuff I was used to doing, and I still didn't have nothing. You feel me? But I'm seeing so many opportunities, illegal opportunities, to where I can better myself at the same time when I'm doing this. You know what I'm saying? End up getting caught up, end up getting locked up.
So as far as college goes, you went to Michigan State.
Right.
So how did that go? Like, somebody who kind of had one foot in the streets, one foot in the books, like, how was that for you? Like, was it a battle, or, you know, what were you feeling at the time?
It wasn't really no battle. I felt like I was in control. The work wasn't hard. In the streets, I was still able to go around and still have the fun I wanted to have. College really just time management. The work don't even be hard for real.
Right.
You know? But it was just crazy because I just wanted some money.
Right.
That's all I really wanted. I just wanted some money.
Right.
Wasn't nothing hard. It was just hard trying to do everything I was doing without nothing, without no resources. So, you know.
Yeah. So growing up musically, you were inspired by your uncles, and kind of like the men in your family. So how did that kind of develop then into what we have now? Like, how did that mold you?
They used to take me to the studio when I was young, and I used to see them. And I went there one day and tried it. When I heard my voice, I just fell in love with it. It was just crazy to hear my voice on the song. So that's what got me into it, wanting to do it. My inspiration today in the music that you heard from me today, that came from me sitting down and finding out who I was and growing up and maturing and telling my story. Because I ain't used to rap like that before.
Right. Right. So now, are they still around to kind of guide you musically or give you insight as to, okay, rap like this, or say this like this, or is it just you going out and doing your thing on your own now?
Two other people that inspired me is dead, and one of them is locked up. So they really ain't around. I mean, the one that's locked up, I still talk to them every here and there.
Yeah, yeah. Do you see them kind of influencing you from where they are to where you are now? Do you still feel like you carry that torch for them?
Yeah, but it's way bigger than that now. Because they was recording music, riding around listening to it themselves.
Right.
They ain't really care for it to get on YouTube or nothing.
Right. They were doing it on a local level.
Yeah. They didn't. I don't even think they wanted to get a CD away to nobody.
It was just for them.
Yeah, they just wanted to listen to it themselves.
Right. So all right. So you went to Michigan State, and let's talk about some things that kind of transpired while you were there. So in college, trying to get some money, you decide that the move for you is to do what?
Breaking dorms.
Breaking in dorms. Okay. So let's talk about that, because that's an interesting take on things for a college student. Like, what made you say, okay, well, I'm not getting any money out here, this is gonna be the path I'm gonna take?
I had a cousin who was up there working. He like, I can get you in this job or whatever. Tried that. That didn't work. I saw a lot of people was trying to sell drugs up there, but everybody was doing that. So I'm like, that ain't really no open lane.
There ain't no money in that.
But my mans or whatever, I had called him from the hood, like, bro, you need to come up here and experience this. This is a whole new experience. I was still on some positive stuff too at the same time. I'm like, bro, this is a whole new boy game. You feel me? He came up there. He was broke. I had to pay his phone bill one time.
Right.
You feel me? He walked in the room one day with like $7,500. Blew me away. He was just messed up.
That's a lot of money for a college student. Like, that's a lot of bread.
I said to myself, like, whatever dog did, we doing that tonight. Period. You feel me? So he ended up telling me, like, there's students around that got a check that's leaving their dorms open.
Right.
You feel me? And it's $1 million buildings open.
Right.
So I'm like,
7,500 times $1 million.
That's nothing to talk about. We got right on it. Right.
So that situation transpired. So then let's fast forward a little bit to you kind of getting in trouble with a bigger scheme or a bigger plot,
Right.
which you rap about. So let's talk about jewelry stores.
Right. So we ended up getting caught up for the thing Lansing at Michigan State.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up getting out. We both ended up getting out on personal bonds. And I know some other dudes in my neighborhood that was doing some stuff in Kentucky on some Rolex watches, smash and grab.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, bet if I go do that, I could fight this case, use the money from this to beat this case.
Right.
I'm on my way down there. One of the detectives called me from Lansing, like, you need to come turn yourself in. We're about to prosecute you or something, whatever. He said something. That made me go down there even quicker.
Mm-hmm. So you out on bond in Michigan,
Right.
but you decide that you're gonna bounce and go to
Kentucky.
Okay.
Get this Rolex money.
And come back, pay your
Sell
lawyer
Rolexes,
fees.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
Get a
I'm with
lawyer and fight that case. It didn't work like that at all.
it. It never
As
does.
soon as we went in the jury store and I hit the glass, a customer, it wasn't a worker or off-duty cop, and then the customer pull a gun out.
Wow.
Freeze. I hit the glass. As soon as I hear freeze, the only thing I think in my head is gun.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? I'm like, they can't wait to do something to us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. You're in Kentucky too.
Yeah. I dropped it and we got on the floor. They called the police. Made us lay down until the police got there.
Yeah. So that this explains how in your song you say you fighting two cases,
Mhm.
you're in two different states because you on parole, and then you went down there and kind of did a little bit of dirt,
Right.
and then got in trouble for both. So let's fast forward. So you end up, you get caught, right?
Right.
Locked up for how long?
In Kentucky, I did 18 months.
18 months in Kentucky.
I did 18 months in Kentucky.
And then did you then have to go to Michigan to serve time?
Yeah.
And it's
I
all-
forgot how much I did in Michigan, but it ended up being 3 years already.
And it's all state time.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the process of you being incarcerated, you decide what? That you gonna try to write this album.
No, I was already rapping, right?
Uh-huh.
So I'm still like, at first I didn't even care to write. I'm like, I'm going through too much. I might need to get out.
Mhm.
I don't even want to write no rap. I hope nobody even know me to ask me to rap.
Right.
But then once God started shining light on my situation,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right, bet now I'm back, happy. I can smile again. I can do regular stuff again.
Yeah. This is why you locked up.
Yeah, I started putting music together. But the difference this time was, I used to think my city was the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I make it in my city, if I can just blow up here, I'm straight.
Mhm.
If I can be the man in my city.
Yeah.
And I used to look at them as my competition. When I used to lay back on the bunk and look at the videos and see how big people really can get,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's my competition. That's what I need to shoot for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I just started telling my story. You know what I'm saying? How I want to say it.
Yeah. So as you're writing in there, were you writing about things that you saw in prison, or were you strictly writing about things that you experienced while you were out of prison?
I wrote about stuff that I did before I got locked up.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote about experiences that I had in prison.
Mm-hmm.
And I rapped about how different things affected me.
Yeah.
How different deaths, different people's incarceration.
Right. Because your name came from when you were locked up.
Right.
Right. So what made them decide to start calling you Tee Grizzley?
I don't know. I used to work out a lot in there. I was big, aggressive, all that. I was
Mhm.
bad when I was in there.
Throwing
I
that weight
didn't think
around.
because I didn't think I was coming to the crib.
Right.
I was on whatever in there.
Right. So as an artist, and that has to be, real trying for you as somebody who has all of these dreams, all of these aspirations, but you can't necessarily get all of those things out because you're confined behind those bars.
Right.
So let's fast forward one more time. So you in there, and I actually want to talk about how, because in the song you say the prosecutor told you 30 years.
Mhm.
Like, let's break down how you didn't end up having to do 30 years, and you only had to do those 18 months.
Nah, in Kentucky, right, they tried to hit us with first-degree armed robbery
Mm-hmm.
because I had the sledgehammer.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as I got it, I was reading the law books.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm happy I went to school.
Right.
I into the read, got them law books. They couldn't charge us with armed robbery because what I had, they couldn't label it as a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
I read about you can only label this as a weapon if I threaten to use it against somebody,
Right.
or raise it up towards somebody and demand something.
Right. But you use it to do
It
what?
had a purpose. All I needed this for was to break the glass.
Right.
And we didn't get out the store with nothing. We didn't leave with nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right. So
it was really destruction of property. But I know we wasn't gonna get that blessed, so
Mhm.
we just took the lesser charge.
how did your lawyer respond when you had to tell him basically that?
I mean, my lawyer got to so many arguments because he
Right.
was lazy. And the stuff I used to tell him about the stuff that I was reading in the law book, and he had act surprised, and I'm like, you knew this before I did.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
So he was just surprised that I was in there working harder than him.
Mm-hmm. All right. So musically, let's talk about some of the things that have happened since your release from prison. So you get out, right? You come home. First thing you do, one of the first things you do when you come home is what?
Go to the studio.
You go to the studio.
I ain't care about nothing else. All I want to do is get some money and go to the studio.
Okay.
So legally this time.
Right, legal money.
Right.
So when you go to the studio, where's your mind? Like, what are you thinking?
I'm like, I can't wait because the stuff that they going crazy about that's out, it ain't nothing.
Right.
Ain't nobody talking about nothing.
Right.
I'm like, I can't wait to drop this. I can't wait to see what they say about this if they go crazy over that.
Right. And that's what a lot of people say when whenever people reference you or reference your music, they talk about how real you are, about how real your story is.
Right.
So as in an industry that we're in now, where it's so easy to glamorize things that we don't have, or that we didn't do, or that we haven't been through, what do you think it is about your story that makes it so relatable to people?
It got substance.
Mm-hmm.
That's first of all. And then my music is not nothing that's like here today, gone tomorrow.
Right.
Like the next 20 years is gonna be somebody with a first day out situation.
Absolutely.
You feel me? So, and it's so many people who either been through that or know somebody that been through that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna touch a lot of different people.
Absolutely. So musically, how did you go from somebody who just came home from prison to getting connected with 2 million views on YouTube in what, 2 weeks?
A week.
In a week.
Yeah.
Wow. So how did that go? Like what was it about you and what you put out, because you paid for a video, right? Paid for studio time, and it's a million rappers who have followed the exact same blueprint, right?
Right.
So what do you think it is about you that says, okay, well, these 2 million people, they buying it?
I ain't gonna lie to you. If I had the formula, I'd do it every time. I don't know what it was.
Right.
It surprised me. I would have been happy with 20,000 views in the first month.
Mm-hmm.
The first week I looked up, it had 1 million views. Social media going crazy. I went from 2,000 followers. I wanted to get to 5,000. Like if I get to 5,000 followers, my page will look good when people come on there.
Right.
I'm gonna shout up to like 60,000.
Wow.
In a week.
Mm-hmm.
Messed my head. I couldn't believe it.
So then labels start calling, right?
Yeah.
So what were some of the things that they were offering you and telling you?
Everything. I went there, all type of money, all type of, we're gonna do this for you, that.
Mm-hmm.
Labels was in a whole bunch. I was most comfortable with 300 though. That's why I went with that.
Right.
They ain't got a lot of artists. They don't oversaturate themselves with artists. I can be the primary focus.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I can have a career over there.
Yeah.
Plus everybody that's on 300 going crazy.
Absolutely.
Fetty Wap, Young Thug, Migos, everybody over there going crazy.
Yeah. So were those your peers? Were those people you were looking up to while you were in there?
No. I wasn't really looking up to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to a lot of pop because that's all we had access to. They don't really play hip hop in there.
Really?
Because they think people gonna go crazy if they play that in there.
Right.
I was looking at the pop artists, but some hip hop artists that crossed over, Drake, Future, Fetty, you see them on there, and you just see how good they doing. And I'm like, it's possible to go out there and turn up.
Yeah. So you put out your mixtape, My Moment, which to me, what a lot of people may not get about you or even know about you who haven't listened to the mixtape, that you actually sing.
Right.
So how do you balance that, rapping and singing, and where does that inspiration come from for you to be as hard as you are and Tee Grizzley, but to actually feel comfortable enough to say, you know, I'm gonna break these notes down real quick?
I don't even want people to hear it as singing. I want people to hear it that's pain. I feel like that melody put a soul on it. I can sit here and rap all day, but when you put that sing, that harmonizing on it, that's what like get people the chills. You feel me? I like R&B more than I like rap because every time I listen to it, older R&B preferably, every time I listen to it, I feel some type of way.
Right.
It ain't too much music that'll make you feel nothing. You feel me?
And you were raised on that R&B.
Right.
So another song that I want to kind of talk about is, before we get to First Day Out, let's talk about Testimony.
Right.
And again, contrary to what we see a lot of, you're an artist, you're a rapper, you're an MC who is not afraid to not only sing but also talk about your relationship with God.
Right.
So how does your faith play into who you are as an artist and where you are and where you see yourself going?
I wrote this song in Kentucky, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now Kentucky was the first place I got locked up. Nah, I really thought it was over when I was down there. So I'm like, even if I do get out of this, I ain't getting out of that.
Right.
You feel me? And somebody had called like, your co-defendant only got this much time in Michigan. I know me and him can't get no different time because I know he was solid.
Right.
And then in Kentucky, they had blessed me. We just had came from court. I'm writing all these songs. I'm like, God just blessed me. I gotta dedicate one to him.
Absolutely.
I gotta talk to him in one.
Absolutely.
You know, so that's how that came about.
Yeah, yeah, and then you know when I listen to your music, one topic or one subject that I think is very prevalent in what you do is loyalty. You talk about going through, you name people that you grew up with, that you still ride with. How is it for you navigating through this industry? Because you know the record industry is worse than the dope game. It's worse than a lot of these other things out here. Like, so how is it for somebody who is as solid and as thorough as you navigating through this industry that we have?
I done been in so many situations and met so many people before I got locked up and when I got locked up. Man, I feel like I done ran into every type of dude that it was. So when people in situations represent themselves, I know how to act on it. I can feel somebody vibe and I can read them and I can see if it's good for me or not. You know, ain't really too many people that can like finesse me and tricking me and then end up surprising me because they do something fake because I done already seen it a billion times.
Right. Have you been here before? Like, you definitely like an old soul, like,
No.
You can't just be 23, 24. You gotta be like
I just turned 23.
45 on the inside, I'm trying to tell you.
No, I just turned 23, bro.
So, first day out, man, I think it's a record that has, like I said, a lot of feeling to it, a lot of meaning to it. I want to talk about like the build up in that record because you get a lot of comparisons to what Meek did with the intro and the way the beat just kind of is out in the beginning and then it kind of just rises up. And I think that's what kind of grabs people's attention, first of all. Like, there's no hook in the song.
Right.
You know what I mean? So let's talk about the process of making that record. I know your producer, Helluva, did 10 tracks on the album, but that one is one that really sticks out.
Right.
So let's talk about like the process of creating that joint.
Two people that inspired that song was Gucci and Meek. Gucci inspired it in a way where he had a first day out. I'm like, I gotta have a first day out like Gucci.
Right.
And Meek, that build up, that's the most craziest. That was like the song of our generation.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Still is, yeah.
So it's like, I want to do it like that, but I don't want it to be that same beat. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going deeper than Meek went, but he still inspired it.
Yeah. So are you working with any other producers outside of Helluva? I know you got Mustard on the beat.
Sunny Digital.
Yeah. Are you open?
Zay Tobin. Who else? That's really it. That's really it. I don't really like to jump around like that. I'm really cool with Helluva.
Yeah.
You know, a good movie don't got 10 producers.
Right.
10 directors on it. So I'm really straight with Helly. Helly nailed it every time.
Cool. Well, you know, before we get out of here, man, I think a lot of people see your story, and I just want to be sure that they know that this is like a rags to riches type of story. You know what I mean? You were in a situation and you were down, you were out, and you came back and you rose to the top from doing something negative to now doing something positive. So if you could, just tell anybody out there who is thinking or considering about following your original path. You know what I'm saying? Like, talk to them about that and why that may not necessarily be the right way to go.
Like, ain't nothing good gonna come from the streets with the people and with the police, because it's like you gotta watch your back and you gotta watch for the police. That's one thing. Another thing I learned from the streets is the people around you that you're dealing with. Anybody that's in the streets is capable of any amount of betrayal. You ain't gonna never get the love back that you show. None of that. All that's over with. And then when you're doing that time, I don't care how long you do. If you do 18 months or 30 years, it don't add up. What you missing out on, you know, you're gonna be so behind when you come back. I was blessed enough to come back in this position, but this don't happen for everybody.
Absolutely.
There's some dudes that came home with me that's on the streets right now, living on the streets right now. Everybody ain't as fortunate, so the time that you got to do that sit down don't add up.
Yeah.
You missing out on I got little cousins that was like, seemed like babies when I left. They like grown now.
Yeah.
You know, they developed, they talking, some of them smoking. You know what I'm saying? So you miss out on so much. There's so many people in your family that you could save and influence. You might as well stay out here with them.
Yeah.
I'd rather, if I could go back, I probably would have tried to get a job or something. Not if I knew this was going to happen, but if I didn't know that this was going to happen, I would have tried to get a job.
9 to 5, right?
Because it don't add up.
Right.
You know, I missed out on too much. I was too stressed in there.
Yeah.
That's a stressful situation. Every night you going to sleep starving and want to talk to somebody, worrying about somebody writing, you worried about how your people's doing. Everybody out there having fun, you just in there
Stuck.
Especially if you got a 30 ball, it's really over there.
Right. Right. I think I heard you say somewhere that 30 to you, 30 was the same as 50.
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah.
30 years and 50 years, the same thing.
Right. Right.
Because the same people that's going to die and the same people that's going to move on with their life, they going to, just like they going to do it in 30, they're going to do it in 50. It's really no difference.
Right. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you, man. I've been doing this a long time, man. I can honestly say that not even just in the industry, I can tell you're a solid dude. And I just wish you much success in all that you do, man. Definitely just keep grinding and keep working, man.
For sure, appreciate you.
Tell them how they can follow you, your social media, your SoundCloud, your Instagram, all that.
Everything got the same name, TEE_Grizzley, GRIZZLEY. I reach back out on Instagram a lot. Twitter I do sometimes, Snapchat, but Instagram I reach back out to everybody. I read everything on Instagram. That's what I'm on all day.
Right.
That's what I knew how to work when I first came out.
Right,
so I just been on Instagram. So Instagram, I'm responsive to everybody on there.
Cool. All right, y'all. Give it a round of applause for man Tee Grizzley.